Podcast time.
This is the Desert Bears podcast. I'm Davey, the host. To my right is...
I'm Mark Knott.
And my left is...
Garit, Heaton.
Garit Heaton's going to lead the show today with some incredible stuff and make it so.
Today's podcast is going to be...
Brought to you by the letter Q.
Shut up.
Thank you. Top 10 things for 2010. I know it's January. It's still early of the year. I think it's legal that we can do a top 10 for last year.
I agree. I'm down with that.
So I've got some cool stuff on my list, and the first one is kind of interesting and important to me. I bought and sold my iMac.
Yes.
A glorious and then confusing day for me.
The short life of Garrett's iMac. Tell us about it.
It wasn't that short. I bought it like in April, and it lasted all the way until Christmas Eve.
Okay. All right.
So I had it most of the year, and it was kind of my springing point into what I am kind of getting into right now, which is video editing. And I didn't do so much photo editing, but that's kind of what I'm getting heavy into right now. And so it was a good little springboard. And
why wasn't the Mac great for that, or was it?
Well, it actually was pretty good for that, and I would still recommend that. But
I sold it.
90% of the other stuff that I do on a computer, which is internet, blogging, whatever, it was
impossible.
I just have to say it was slower. It just didn't perform as much, and for a
which is interesting. I've never heard that complaint before, but
Yeah.
you are a unique figure. So.
I am a person. So anyways, and the tests that I did were on that iMac. I mean, I loaded Boot Camp and Windows 7, and that Windows 7 for 90% of the stuff that I did was a better experience, unfortunately, and that pissed me off, so I sold it. But I am still kind of grateful to the Mac for kind of giving me that lead into some of the stuff that I really love doing now.
You'll be back.
I might be. I admit right now that even though I've got a slamming computer, this is an amazing thing. I sold the iMac.
Post pictures of that thing, because I got to admit, that is a pretty impressive machine you got
it's in the
there.
works. So it'll be a blog soon. But I sold the Mac for enough money to buy like a freaking amazing, PC that I built. It
looks like
6-core AMD processor.
It looks like it could eat any iMac.
Super cool, overclocked.
You should paint.
If we have the right launch codes, we can destroy Russia with it.
You should paint like shark teeth on the side of it, like a fighter jet from World War II.
Dual 32-inch monitors. I've got about 10 square feet of screen space right now.
So great.
I was so jealous of your 27-inch monitor. Now you have two 32-inch monitors.
Yeah. But anyway, so that's a little bit of a work in progress still. But so yeah, there is that. Number 9 is a food item. I went to Portland, Oregon this summer, and
why did you go there?
When did you go to Oregon?
We went.
Answer my question first.
Why did I go?
Yes.
When did
Al invited us, I guess.
Oh, that's right. He lives there.
Yeah, so we stayed with Al.
Rest in peace, Al.
Al Deans. He's moving back, by the way.
Oh, really?
In a week or
He
two.
moved
Yeah.
in the first place, but I'm not super friends with him. So that's
Well.
okay.
Yeah. Anyway, he took me to a magic parking lot. I'm not even kidding you. I don't know the name of this place, but I'm gonna call it a magic taco wagon.
Okay, so it's a food wagon.
There's this magic taco wagon that shows up only on Fridays and Saturdays, I think, and I think it's by like a Guitar Center type music store, and it is definitely the best Mexican food I've ever had in my life. It may be the best food I've ever had in my life.
Really?
It was just completely melt my face, blow my mind, amazing good tacos.
You know what I found in life is those places, like the hole in the wall type of restaurants that have been there forever, just have incredible flavor. Just because I think like their grills are seasoned with everything that's been cooked on there, and probably the same with this taco stand. I didn't
Magic
see it.
Taco Wagon. I don't know what it is, but I want to go back to Oregon just for the frickin'
I want to
taco
make a shirt
wagon.
that says Magic Taco Wagon.
Magic parking lot.
Bless those
Wow.
people, whoever they are.
Nice.
Number 8, started playing Dungeons and Dragons.
Ooh.
I'm
I'm responsible for that.
Davey totally took the initiative. Haha, initiative. And
Stupid. Keep going.
oh, kill me. But yeah, dude, that was a freaking awesome experience, in all of our D&D.
All of the
since then.
3 times we played in 2010.
Was it only 3 times?
Like 3 or 4 times.
Well, we played
small handful.
because I think
of
we
times.
played as a full group like twice, and then
Yeah.
us as a smaller group
Twice.
So yeah, 4.
Yeah. But freaking fun. I enjoyed
awesome.
that way. I mean, I knew I was gonna like that, but I enjoyed it way more than I thought I would. So it made the list.
Nice.
Number
That's
7.
on my list too.
I went to Moab twice, which is always
Cool.
good for me. It's been a long time since I accomplished that. I used to love to go every year. Moab is one of my favorite places, and I managed to go there twice.
Cool.
So
What do you do there?
the first time was a very unique experience. We hiked the Devil's Garden. It was me and Jen Ford. Kind of a normal day. Weather was kind of like iffy, but it was just kind of warm and whatever. And then we got like all the way in there, and then all of a sudden the weather turned to, Mother Nature tried to kill us, basically.
Awesome.
It was like, big rain. Oh, okay, we're going to get rain. And then all of a sudden it was like, hail! Like, ultimate hail. I mean, like, I looked like I had, some kind of, like, horrible spotted disease after, because it just, like, nailed us. We couldn't see. It was hailing so bad. Flash flood. It was the most cold I've ever been in my life.
Wow.
And, like, stuff was falling on us and junk. But
Crushed by 1,000 ants.
Right on the spine. And the scariest part was not that we couldn't see, not that it was slippery because of ice, not because there was like puddles and all kinds of dangerous stuff, but the lightning was just like right over our
There you
heads.
go.
And
That's, yeah.
lightning is as much as I love lightning, it's also one of the things that terrifies me. And that was and so, it was funny. Jen Ford said she was 80% sure she was going to die.
I remember her saying that. Yeah.
Nice.
But we found shelter and survived. But anyway, Moab rules. Number 6 is another semi-eating experience. I had another summer trip to northern California, and we ended up on some Indian reservation beach. It was an enormous beach, super, super cool place.
Was there a taco stand?
There was, we cooked.
Was it Navajo tacos?
It was Navajo
five.
tacos.
High
Yeah.
five. Stupid.
I ate homemade Navajo tacos on an Indian reservation beach and camped there. Like, I've never camped on a beach before, and this was just a freaking epic experience. It was so cool. There was a pod of whales just right there on off of the beach. There's all kinds of stuff. There was a seal, and I don't know.
There was a seal.
There was a seal.
Cool.
Yeah.
Nice.
There's more to that story, but that is inappropriate for this podcast.
Oh my gosh.
Anyway,
Garrett masturbated to the waves. Moving
no,
on.
No, I don't think that was. Okay, number 5, Grand Canyon trip with my dad and my brother-in-law.
Cool.
Super cool. I've been there a few times, but this was just a really good trip. I did some HDR photography. Not very good, but it was still really fun. Number 4, of course, the Evitlugelt eruption with all of its glorious lightning
Can
photos.
you pronounce that one more time?
Evitlugelt?
Was that the one with like the ash, like lightning storms?
Yeah,
and
yeah,
stuff?
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, the Iceland volcano. Super-
Disrupted air travel.
Yeah, it kind of screwed up, the world for a little bit, but I loved it, and I would have given anything to be there and take pictures because that was freaking amazing.
Breathe it in.
Yes, breathe it in, and part of my number 3, the next one, is kind of related to that. Number 3 is I discovered a passion for time lapse and HDR photography. There's nothing that I'm more in love with right now than time lapse photography.
You've posted some amazing time lapse
But
stuff. On your
yeah,
blog.
there was a guy who it was funny. This is what he said about the video that I saw. he's like, I've been seeing some time-lapse video from, you know, the eruption, and it wasn't good enough, so I came over here and tried to do one myself. And it was really super, super good. So he was super cocky, but it was a really amazing video.
He was a complete jerk, and he did, but he knew what he was talking about.
And number 2 is also camera related. I upgraded my point and shoot to the legendary S90.
Is it?
That's what this is.
Did they come out with an S95?
Yes, they did.
Oh, sorry, man.
So old.
And now, yeah, like the value of this has gone down.
Sorry, dude.
Oh, it totally sucks.
So that was for like what, 2 days, and then they came out with the next one.
Well, yeah. I mean, I bought. It was a late model, but it was still just the best thing there was for a point and shoot, and I still recommend it. But yeah, the S95 is definitely better now. But I mean, and I got into, you know, I hacked this camera to do all kinds of crazy stuff that it, you know, enhances it and everything. And then number one, we were all involved in. It was Dan's ultimate bachelor party camp out in Scranton.
Yes.
And I think that was just kind of a once in a lifetime thing where all of us, like, how many of there was us? Like all of our.
Well, there's like 10 of us, 12 of us, or something like
Yeah,
that.
But it
a
was
bunch of
awesome,
us.
yeah.
I mean, Davey, you almost got bit by a rattlesnake.
Oh my gosh,
I
almost stepped on it.
You know,
There was the
guns and ammo galore.
And then the mayor
good
of
food.
of the pit.
There was all the mine shaft shenanigans.
Oh, so many inside stories.
But
I mean,
that was good for me. I hadn't been camping in years. I'm not a camper at all, and I
Yeah.
think going with that group of friends and like it was just so much fun to reminisce about high school. And
dude, and we did some cool pictures, like in the night. You know, the
Time lapse stuff and
some slow shutter,
slow shutter speed, and then you wrote light. What is that called?
light writing or
Light
something. like
writing,
that,
yeah.
Oh yeah, I remember that. Yeah.
So yeah, freaking awesome trip.
Cool.
That's a good list.
2010, yeah, it was pretty good for me.
That's over now.
Quality.
Yeah.
Yeah, 2011. Well, I wrote down a quick list. I don't even have 10 things, but it shows how prepared I am, how awesome I am. 2010, top 10, top 8. I found a lot of cool stuff at DI. It's our local thrifty store. I found some really good records. I continue to find awesome Nintendo stuff. I located an old NES, an original gray Zapper.
Now, how reliable is this old Nintendo stuff? I'm just curious because I haven't sought it out, just thinking it's old and broken.
Oh yeah, because they're 25 years old now.
Yeah.
I actually replaced the 72-pin connector inside of it. I went online and got a new one and opened it up, replaced it. Works like a champ. There's no more red blinky
Awesome.
light of
So
doom.
it works all right for you.
Yeah,
And
everything
what-
works great.
What is a gray shovel thing? What'd you say?
The gray the blinky light?
No, the gray before.
Oh, I got an original gray Zapper.
Oh yeah, what the heck is that?
It's the gun for
the Duck Hunt
NES.
Oh, that's
Yes,
what it is.
sometime in the early 90s, late 80s, they passed a law that said all kids' guns have to be orange, and so the Zapper became orange, but I got the original gray version.
Yeah.
In Japan, they have one that looks like a revolver. So, yeah, so
Gotta love Japan.
I find awesome ties. I find good records and Nintendo stuff. I continue to find awesome things at the thrift store. It's awesome. Number 9, I had a kid.
Oh yeah.
Rather, my
Children,
wife did.
A creature.
Yeah, my son Camden was born, and life has never been the same ever since. He is.
Life has never been better.
What? No, he is 100% awesome, and I can't wait to teach him the ways of life, video games, movies.
20 critical hit.
Exactly. Number 8, I got an iPad this year. I was one of those early adopter jerks.
Dude, I remember our online discussions. I want an iPad.
I want one so bad. I mean, like, why would I use it? Well, I use it to read. I use it to do all my internet stuff, and it's awesome.
You know what's incredible? It hasn't even been out a year yet. It came out when did that come out? April?
March? No, I thought it was later.
It was like
June.
Seriously?
Yeah.
So it's only been like 6 months, 7
Yeah.
months, and it's changed the world. I mean, it's sold. I think I heard the other day it sold 15 million units. 15 million units, and it's only been in like 7 months.
Don't quote Mark on that number.
No, I'm pretty sure that's an accurate number.
Whatever. I'm part of the iPad revolution, and I'm going to be pissed when they come out with a new one in April. But it's pretty awesome. I can read stuff. I can do all my internet stuff on it. it's just it's cool, and new stuff keeps coming on. I mean, early on it kind of sucked because there wasn't really a whole lot for it, but they keep doing upgrades that are awesome and some that aren't so awesome.
Well, once they have a good hack to put Android OS on there, I'm going to be looking twice.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure the value of these will go down once the new one comes out. Okay, and for number 7,
why would you get an iPad and hack it when there are plenty of Android apps out there, or Android pads out there?
Well, there's just now coming out
Yeah.
Android tablets that I think are actually worth something.
But it took a whole year for that to happen.
Yeah. The iPad kind of size and form factor is still pretty good.
Because they have like bigger ones in the works. They have smaller ones.
Dude,
but
if the iPad 2 has a Retina display, I'm just gonna lose my mind.
I think it will.
Oh my
I think
gosh.
it will. Yeah.
I'm just gonna lose my mind. And put Android on an iPad 2, and that'll be like my ultimate tablet device.
It'll
Anyway.
be cool. Awesome. Number 7, I took 2 months away from work because I had a kid, maternity leave. I spent all of my vacation in sick hours. It was awesome.
Nice. Living the dream.
I was such a vegetable. I ate cereal and sat on the couch all day while my wife took care of our son.
Nice.
I had, out of the hundreds, I estimate almost 200 jobs I've applied for in the past year. I had 4 job interviews.
Oh, wow.
Now, is it like unemployment at like an all-time low all of a sudden?
No, it's still pretty stupid, but I did the math, and I get a 3% return, which is terrible, and I'm still waiting to hear back.
So worth it.
Yeah. Number 5 on my list.
Motivation to graduate college, right?
Yeah, it was awesome. Never graduate. Number
Drop out, kids.
5.
Drop out.
D&D. Like Garrett said, I was bored one day and recalling the awesomeness of my youth. My friends and I would geek out and play like 2nd edition Dungeons and Dragons, and I hadn't looked at it in forever, so I downloaded some manuals and downloaded it from the interwebs. 4th edition's awesome. It is fun to play. It's quick to get into. There are about 300 rules you have to remember, but
I know like 2 of them now that we've played a few times.
I have to say this. I think the reason that it was so much fun right at the beginning is because you basically took a month to prepare the first
month and a half,
like scenario or whatever you call it, like maps, like cutouts,
miniature houses.
It was epic. It was so cool.
Yeah,
I was blown away.
I got the big battle mat out. I got the markers out. I drew out the maps. I made a huge campaign. And because of scheduling conflicts, we never got around to finishing it. But
I'm amazed this podcast has gone on so long. I thought eventually one of us would get some sort of extra hobby and never be able to do this. So
oh my gosh, yeah, fun to play. I mean, for some RPG, tabletop geek noobs as we are,
dude,
we picked it up.
If one of us starts playing Warcraft, this podcast is over.
It's over. But I've got more stuff in the works, so we can keep playing as long as
I'm for it.
We're gonna keep playing, and
I'm still in the dark, but I enjoy it. So
good, we'll keep you there. I think as long as some of our schedules work out, we'll keep playing, and I think 2011 will be a very good geektastic, super spectacular, fantastic time to play D&D.
Dragons.
Okay, number 4. I attempted to write a book in November.
What?
In November is National Novel Writing Book Month.
Oh, NaNoWriMo?
NaNoWriMo. I took part in that, and I failed miserably. But before I did, I cranked out about the whole idea was to crank out a manuscript about 50,000 words long. Original stuff, big deal. I've been thinking about kind of a kids, not really kids, like an adult novel, fantasy novel for the last 3 years. And I had written some things back when I was in college, back before I graduated.
Back in the days of Dollhouse.
But I saw the website, thought, heck, I'm not doing anything in November. Told my wife, I'm writing this book all month, leave me alone. And for about 3 weeks, I was writing along. I got to about 25,000, almost 30,000 words. and I ran out of steam. That's all it took. Like the last 2 weeks, my wife was like, "You're watching TV. Shouldn't you be writing your book?" And I'm like,
Screw it.
I'll figure it out. Never did, but most of it's written. It's kind of an interesting thing.
Cool. That's awesome.
Yeah. Never. I don't know if I'll come back to it, but February is the month for the RPM.
Black History Month.
No, the RPM challenge is to make, write, and produce an album of original music. Last year I failed too at that. Didn't actually start that, but this year I'm going to do it, and this year I'm going to finish my book. Maybe, not really. Awesome.
That's awesome. Yeah.
My last thing on my list is I helped my younger brother Kevin run his first ultra marathon.
Oh yeah, how did that go?
Now, how do you help him run the marathon?
I was his support crew.
You hold a
Okay.
megaphone
Yeah.
and say,
Cancer.
Swear at him.
Keep running, you idiot. Cancer. You don't know what you're doing. What are you? My dad puts on a race every year in the middle of nowhere, Utah, and it's along the Pony Express Trail. It really is the middle of nowhere, Utah. And my brother wanted to participate, and he, bless his heart, he ran and ran and ran, and he was doing pretty good. I thought he could finish it. He was going for 50 miles, and he got to 30 miles, and we were both exhausted. I was riding my bike with him most of the time, but
oh geez.
yeah, and just riding and alongside of him on this dirt road in the middle of nowhere, along the Pony Express, and just the sheer empty, vast wasteland where we were running and riding. It's just, it overwhelmed us. It totally discouraged us.
What month was this again?
Yeah,
this
I was
was
just gonna ask
in
that.
this was in October, the end of October.
So it's still kind of cool, wasn't it? Too hot?
It was cool, but it was hot. The sun beat on us, so we had a sunburn on our one side of our face. Yeah, because that's the side we were facing, and the sun.
Nice.
And, he did good. He ran 30 miles for never having run a marathon, never having run a race.
That's awesome.
He ran 30 miles and quit. My dad finished his 100-mile. Finished 100 miles and beat everyone. He
Wow.
defended his title in that race, and he came in at 100 miles in probably 22 hours. I don't know, which he's
Wow.
beaten that.
So how does that work? I don't want to drag this on too long, but how does this work? He doesn't do that all in one day. He didn't run 22 hours
Yes, he did.
straight.
Oh yeah.
Yes, he did.
That's why it's
He-
called
ultra marathon running. My dad, in fact, just to brag, and I'll finish up with this. He ran the Across the Years race. He decided to. It's not really a race of distance; it's a race of time. You see how far you can run on this looped course.
Okay.
He chose the 48-hour run, and he won. He beat people on national running teams, professional runners. Just this guy from Utah.
Dude.
Insanity. I mean, 5 years ago, 6 years ago, he was in no way, shape, or form like at this level. But he is getting to a point where after years and years of running ultra marathons, he's getting to a awesome level.
For those that can't
Competitive.
see, my mouth is wide open. That's incredible. I can't even stay up that long.
Well, he had 4 hours of sleep, but that was about it.
Oh, that's incredible.
Yeah.
Dude.
Anyway, that was my 2010.
All right.
Well
Well,
done.
mine involves a lot of the things you said, and it's not a full, complete 10. So, the very first thing was the movie Inception. Sorry, I think that I love Christopher Nolan. There are very few movies that I'll actually go to the theater to see.
How many movies has he made?
Let's make a list. He did Memento. He did Insomnia.
Didn't see it.
He did Batman Begins.
What was Insomnia
Saw
about?
it.
It wasn't very good. Don't
Was
worry about
it?
It was Al Pacino and Robin Williams. It was
What-
weird.
Oh, okay, weird.
He didn't write it. I don't think he wrote it. He just directed it, so it wasn't as good as his other stuff.
Okay, yeah, I think I know what you're talking about.
And then after Batman Begins, he did Prestige, and then he did Dark Knight.
Prestige. He did that one.
Yeah, he did Prestige,
Huh.
and then did Inception. And
Inception.
it's so funny how M. Night Shyamalan had these great movies going for him. He had Sixth Sense.
Inception.
He had
He
Unbreakable.
did.
He had Signs. He had and then
Well, that was okay.
And then he had Lady in the Water, and then he had Last Airbender. And it's like
The last
Oh,
crap
God.
bender.
So
Dude.
I hope Christopher Nolan.
Failure.
I didn't actually see that movie.
You don't need to.
That's
Don't
okay.
do it.
Yeah, M. Night Shyamalan is a guy who I have so much respect and hope for that his movies will be good, but
Yeah.
sometimes they just don't turn out.
Yeah,
that well.
I'll actually say that
I loved The Village.
Yes,
Oh, me
yes.
too.
Village and Signs and Unbreakable are some of my
So
favorite
good.
movies
The
ever.
So
Village was
good.
amazing.
Yeah.
It was stupid. It was this thing in the freaking forest the whole time. He lied to us. He lied. Come on. It wasn't about that. It was about the people. No.
Dude.
No. I'll never forgive him.
That movie was amazing.
It was good.
You know, I even liked Lady in the Water. I think very few people liked it.
I loved it.
I only watched half of it.
It was. I hated it the first time, but I went back and I watched the second time. Like, okay,
anything with Paul Giamatti though, I love.
Oh yeah, he's so good.
John Adams, awesome. Did you watch that?
I got through the first 3 episodes, then I'm just like, no more.
It was okay.
It kind of died down. You know, a lot of the HBO stuff's like that. Like they have a good idea.
Well, I'm a history buff,
and
so
make a whole series of it. And
yeah.
I loved Band of Brothers. Right now, I'm actually watching The Pacific, and The Pacific is nowhere near as good as Band of Brothers.
Really?
But,
okay.
Yeah, Band of Brothers
totally different.
Yeah.
I'm not really into like. When I flip through the channels and see like Saving Private Ryan, and I'm like, I switch to it and somebody's getting their face blown off. I'm like, nah.
You have to be in the mood. Like Band of Brothers, I literally cried every single episode. Pacific, it's more just like meh.
You got to be in that, face blown off mood.
Yeah. I'd rather like hit somebody with a sword or something.
Yeah,
that's just me though.
Sure. There are very few movie makers who you can trust that you can go see their movie opening day and be pleased with it. And I knew that Inception was going to be good, and I wasn't let down.
It was good.
The iPad came out, which didn't affect me because I don't have one, but it's still incredible to the world.
Now let me just say, I like the iPad more because I don't have an iPhone. I don't have much contact with iMacs or anything else that's Apple related, like TV stupid things.
Yeah.
I don't. That's why it works for me. I think, and I've read this, with the iPad and the iPhone and the Mac Mini and everything else that's connected, you feel like you're cheating on your other Apple devices.
No, I love the iPad, and I recommend it to anybody who's looking for a computer. I'm like, look at the iPad and consider it, because if you've got a desktop, you'll love the iPad.
And you can put all your Dungeons and Dragons manuals on it.
I personally got the iPhone. Me and my wife broke down and got iPhones. She actually waited in line for 2 hours for us. I was still at work, and she was so excited that she went and stood in line for 2 hours so we can get our iPhone 4s. And going from a flip razor to the iPhone was just changed my world. My world was upside down.
That's true. You did that.
Yeah, and so that was a huge deal for me. And I've been, obviously looking at the iPhone for a long time.
Dude, I have to say whatever I say about Apple, whatever I say about anything, the iPhone 4 screen is the most amazing thing I've ever seen.
It's pretty awesome.
Yeah, it's one of those things, like, and you're never close enough to really admire it. There's occasionally where I'm like laying on my bed or something, I roll over and I look at it, I'm like, holy crap, that screen is incredible.
It makes me sick. It makes me cry.
That sunset looks real.
I
can touch it.
And what else happened this year? Oh,
3D movies, awesome. I loved them, all of them.
Which one?
No, I'm joking. Just go.
I left Utah for 10 minutes.
What?
Ever since my wife and I went to Florida on our honeymoon, and we have not left Utah since we got back from then.
Wow.
And we were up at Bear Lake in October, and we drove up to Idaho.
You drove up to Preston area?
No, we went up to Idaho, but then we realized we'd gone too far of where we were actually going and turned back around. So we were in Idaho for 10 minutes. That's my only time out of Utah in the past 6 years. So
6 years?
We're going to take a trip here soon. We need to take a trip.
Oh my gosh.
Get out of Utah.
Yeah. I'm thinking of moving.
Yeah.
Where do you want to go?
Oh, wait, moving? Who said moving?
I want to move.
I'll move. I'm going to have to move, but that's a different topic.
I'm just wondering.
Yeah. Anyway, okay, keep going with your list.
I got a new job, which is great because I'm no longer typing at the post office wishing I was dead.
At least you got a new job.
At least I got a new job.
From the 4 job interviews I had, 0 jobs. Yeah, I tend to bomb interviews and look like a rambling idiot. I can be there on time. I know what to do.
I'm a good employee. I'm a good employee.
I'll do anything you say.
The big yellow one is the sun.
So yeah.
And finally on my list for 2010.
Well, what job did you get?
Oh, I work as a. It's one of those jobs where I kind of do a little bit of everything, but it's at a video production place. And
Get me coffee.
Huge upgrade to
typing at the post office. Yeah, so I edit videos is the big thing I do.
That's nice.
It is very nice. It's what I do and it's what I enjoy. So, but one of the greatest things of 2010, I don't know if you guys agree or not, but Lost ended.
I've only seen one episode, the first one.
Lost is you know, whether you hate it or not, it was one of the most incredible TV shows of all time because it was so much fun.
Was it?
It was so much fun. Everything about it was so much fun.
Everyone complained about it, though.
You know, and they did, and you know, maybe they didn't know how it was going to end. Maybe they did all make it up as it went along, but so
It's like, what the heck, man? There's polar bears. There's a smoke monster.
It was so intriguing. It was so fun how they like tied into these other things. Like I remember watching season 1, how we would have flashbacks to off the island, and they would just pass by a cast member, and you're like, oh, there was Sawyer in the background, or look what happened there. And they had so much fun making this world, and they did such a great job with it. And it was sad to see it go, but I'm glad that they ended it. I'm glad they didn't drag it on like other shows like The Office.
That was a J.J. Abrams.
It was J.J. Abrams, yeah. And he hasn't, you know, he's not 100%. He's one of those people who you can usually trust his stuff. Like he did Star Trek and he did Mission Impossible 3.
They were good.
Both movies I love, but
Yep.
I didn't care for Alias. I never watched Felicity. But you know, J.J. Abrams, he's fun, and there's that new one coming out. Is it this summer? The Super 8 or whatever it's called that has that Spielberg did with him.
Yeah,
Yes.
the name might be changing to something weird and awful.
Yeah.
I can't remember what it
Well,
is.
and
Though.
they kind of did the same. He produced Cloverfield, and they kind of did the same ad campaign with like this mysterious, you know, monster or whatever. And so he if you ever see his TED Talk, the TED Talk by J.J. Abrams is very interesting. It gives you an idea of how he.
Dang it, I haven't seen that one.
Oh, it's fascinating because it goes into. You understand why he does what he does and how he does it. It's why he makes his movies, and it's fascinating. So, 2010 was a good year. It was a good year. I think we're all going to die in 2012, so let's enjoy this one.
Yeah, let's eat, drink, and be merry
It's
for
too bad.
2011.
Yeah, 2011. This is going to be my year. My year.
This will hopefully be our longest podcast ever. So, sayonara 2012.
Yes, thank you for listening to this special edition of the Desert Bears podcast. Top 10, 2010.
2010. I hate 2010.
Yeah, nobody says it like that.
Goodbye.